from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to your extra episode of Sleep With Me podcast here in 2025. If you're a regular listener, you're somebody who listens to more than 2 episodes a week, this is what we're doing to serve you in 2025 and ideally beyond, to be there more for you. So these are older episodes of Sleep With Me. So if you're new to the show, this will be a little bit different experience already with a different podcast anyway. But I'm glad you're here, and I'll explain a lot of what the podcast is in the intro. You might have noticed these older episodes, they come out on Thursdays, right? They are also marked explicit. The shows don't really contain any explicit language. It's just that there's not a rating system in podcasting. Your show is either explicit or not. And so we just want to give a heads up to anybody that this is an older show. It's a little bit looser in material. In fact, tonight's episode, let me take a look at our notes here. These are listener favorites, though. That we pick out, and we do make some changes. We're remixing these, but yeah, what do we got here? We talk about large cars. This is an on location episode where I go to Skybridges in around the city in San Francisco. So the word exoskeletons used a few times. We talk about sharp edges on buildings, I think. Hitchcockian birds, and some, friends, whatever, we talk about insects a little bit. So if you want to skip this episode, but it's talked about in a really sleepy way. It's a really fun episode too. I feel like I did an intro for this already too, because this was like I was seeing a show that Hal Lublin was doing in San Francisco. So you may even hear 2 of these messages. That'd be funny. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this. If you're new, I'm so glad you're here. Regular listeners, I'm so glad you're here. And like I say in a lot of these intros, this show, especially these episodes, if you appreciate these extra episodes, you listen to Sleep With Me 2 or more episodes a week or more than 1 episode a night. We're here because of the people that like you that opt in, like we're a part of your life, and those people that opt in to be a part of the show's life are like really, truly how we're able to be here. So if you do get a lot out of the show, opt in, man. It feels so good to know you're a part of this, and you don't need to opt in either. But if you really get a lot out of the show, opt in, to support the show directly, support our sponsors, or spread the word about the show, reach out with kindness. Those are some of the ways you can opt in, and here's Scoots talking about other ways. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Quince. And, we're moving from winter to spring, and things are heating up. And, for me, I can't stand being hot in bed. And that's why I'm so happy about this partnership with Quince. They have so many amazing bedding options. They have their breathable European linen bedding collection and that luxury percale cotton, as well as a bunch of more amazing options. So it's time to ditch those heavy, scratchy sheets. Quince sheets are soft, luxurious, and breathable. They use high-quality materials like 100% European flax linen and organic cotton to give that 5-star hotel feel. And the same goes for their ultra-plush duvets, quilts, pillows, and shams, too. Quince has everything you need to level up your bed. And the best part is, like Quince's clothing, their bedding is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost to the middle person and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I've been using the classic organic percale sheets, and they are so crisp and breathable. But I'm also excited to check out this breathable European linen, too. Holy cow, that sounds amazing, especially with summer coming up. And then my daughter has the buttery soft bamboo sheet sets. So you got to check Quince out. Transition your bed for the season with soft, breathable bedding from Quince. Go to quince.com/sleep to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/sleep to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sleep. Get over there and let me know about it. Thanks, everybody. All right, we're trying this new thing called No Stone Unturned, where I'm going through these testimonials from real listeners who benefit from the show and looking at, hey, I know I benefit from the show. I know it makes my life better, but there was this one thing standing in my way of supporting it directly. So if this is the thing standing in your way, listen up. If you can afford to support the show, it makes your life better. If you rely on the show relies on you. All right, this is from Lori, who said, I decided to support the show because I was using it enough to sleep and it was valuable to me, just like any other thing that would help me get to sleep. I tend to think if something is valuable and useful enough to me, I should support it so it doesn't go away. As a content creator myself, I know most people consume my content for free. I also know without the support of quite a few people, I wouldn't be able to continue to do so. So I get it, and I hope other people do. The biggest obstacle to me for supporting the show was that I only have so much money to spend, and there are many things I'd like to support. However, as you point out, sleep is crucial to our health, our happiness, and without it, it's going to be tough. So I prioritize to Sleep With Me for support. And I empathize with you as a content creator who wants to try to do something useful for the world. So it made me feel like it was the right thing to do by supporting the show because it's something that benefits my life quite a bit. So if you identify with what Lori says, you get a lot out of the podcast. You just want ad-free content. You want you want more stuff. And you want the podcast to be here for you to keep making your life better. And then as a result, you get to help out a lot of other people that can't support the show. But it really comes down to that. That's the only question. Like, are you listening to me? Are you hearing me? Does Sleep With Me make your life better? Do you count on it? Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks so much. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your narrators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. And don't forget, the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me is with sleep phones. You can get Sleep With Me merch, Sleep With Me branded sleep phones at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep-phones. And use Sleep With Me at checkout to get $5 off your order. The only way you can get the Sleep With Me merch editions is sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep-phones. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, everybody. This is Scooter. This is a heads up. This is on location ambient sound episode live from San Francisco. So there will be background noises. There may be wind and there may be mistakes. But I'll do do my best to keep a lulling, soothing tone and pointless meanders as I'm watching pigeons. I'm here near the Embarcadero of San Francisco, and I guess I should start the show. Hey, you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep, wondering, sitting on a table on a Skybridge, wondering, geez, is someone going to come along and ask you to stop recording? Well, when? Are you sitting with a view of pigeons at the time of the day and at a distance because you're not eating, and pigeons at a distance? Sleep with me. The podcast that's like pigeons at a distance. Also the podcast that puts you to sleep. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm going to do a shortened intro. This is a podcast to take your mind off stuff. I'm on location here, San Francisco Financial District, so it's a little bit quieter here on the weekend. But got a view of some pigeons. It's late day. I think around 3 p.m. It's brisk. It's brisk for California, I'll tell you that much. It's and the sun is short. You know, this is what a month is. It's January, and you know, 'tis the season for the sun. I guess I made a wittier comment once, and someone said, "Wow, that was a good one," and now I can't remember. You know, like, oh yeah, we're close to the sun, but we're tilted away from it. Still doesn't wash for me, son. So pick it up. You know, send some extra rays. Oh, wow. So I'm just looking up here at an office building that's towering above some other ones, so it's catching full sun. It looks like a 70s, 80s era building, like with corduroy style with the windows and the facade. I can't tell if it's granite facade or marble, you know, aged marble. A building that would look in place, and this isn't critical. Just look at what is it? What do I mean? Look in place anywhere. I'm here at Embarcadero Center. I think I'm between Embarcadero 1 and 2. Those are pretty identical. I'm having trouble here. Oh wait, I was going to describe the podcast, but a plane's going over. I guess maybe that was a car. This is a podcast to put you to sleep, to take your mind off stuff. I'm on location. That's not always the case, but I figured we'd do a little San Francisco touring. I was just here to see Mark and Hal do We Got This live with the Work Juice Players. It was great fun. Great podcast. We Got This. You should check it out. They debated M&Ms. Some hilarious people on stage. Very kind of them to invite me to their show. So I want to, this will be, and then you can catch up on all the new podcasts that have come out since then. But, when I do things, because I have a policy, AB, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the movie version of Glengarry Glen Ross with the dynamic undersells Alec Baldwin's performance, and it kind of it's such a powerful performance that it kind of it's a Mamet movie, David Mamet, but it kind of takes away from the rest of the movie because his performance is just so unbelievable. And anyone that is terrified of salespeople, that has found themselves in a sales role at once in their life, and then you say, well, what am I doing? This character that Alec Baldwin plays, this alpha sales jerk. But one of the things he says in that movie that a lot of people say is ABC, always be closing. Now, when you make a podcast that comes out how many times a week? 3 times a week, like this one does, I do have a policy, ABR, always be recording. And I love Hal, I love Mark, and I said, well, geez, I'd love to see them live, but it's Saturday, I gotta record an episode. What am I gonna do? Yeah, how am I gonna pull this up? And I said, well, just bring your recording stuff, and ABR, try to record a show after their show. You'll be close to the waterfront of San Francisco. But then I parked, and I said, man, this Embarcadero Center, if I could pull it off without, So far we have 5 minutes to record it here. It's got a lot of Skybridges. This Skybridge is a little bit windy, but I sat down to test the recording equipment. I said, well, let me get some audio down here. So I'm going to try this other Skybridge to see what the wind situation is. I said, well, what could be more lulling and soothing than some time on a Skybridge? The pitter-patter of little feet as a child runs by, people leaving their lunches, and the sun, the waning winter sun, construction going on. I mean, well, there's I can see one of the new buildings. I don't know if that's the Salesforce Tower or the Tri-Millennium Tower. What do they call that? I don't know. Millennial. I guess I don't know my towers. I don't know my rear from a tower. I don't know. But, San Francisco, I lived in New York City. That has a lot of distinct architecture. In San Francisco, right where I'm sitting here, I mean, I wish I had Roman Mars, on the backup, or, some sort of good knowledge. Really undoing this here. Just to say, I mean, I think we have a couple different eras of office building, including one of a short squat one that's pretty nice, too. But yeah, I'm here to take your mind off stuff, to spend some time with you here in San Francisco. But I'm also getting paranoid as the wind picks up that I've got to relocate to. I don't know. Right now, I think am I sitting north, south, or east, west? I think the wind is traveling. What is that? Is that east? I'm looking down towards the Embarcadero, towards the Bay Bridge. I can just see a sliver of the Bay Bridge, the San Francisco Bay Bridge, the San Francisco, the Treasure Island side of the bridge. The newer side is on the Oakland side of the bridge. But I'm going to take a break here. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I don't want to, though, when I'm getting audio, and now the wind is dying down, I never want to give up. Never want to give it up, never want to live it down, never want to run around and desert you. But your attention could desert me at any moment, because this is a podcast to put you to sleep. All right, buddy, this is Scoots here. This is a particular message. I'm going to be reading a testimonial from somebody who supports the show directly. This message is only for people that, you get a lot out of the podcast. You listen to it 2 or more times a week. If you listen all night long, or you listen to like 10 episodes a month, 12 episodes a month, you're the one I'm trying to get the message to. If you can afford to support the show, if you lean on the podcast, if it makes your life better, listen close to this testimonial and see if you identify with anything this listener said. Because this is how we're able to be here for you. If you count on the podcast, we really do count on you to support the show back, but only if you're able to, and the podcast makes your life better. If it's a part of your life, I'd love it if you'd be a part of the life of the podcast, because that's how we're able to be here for you. All right, this is a good one. It came from Jennings, because it had something I didn't even realize gets in the way of some people supporting the show. I love falling asleep, the friendly voice in the deep dark night with no expectations. And despite the apparently lackadaisical rambling nature of each episode, you clearly put in a lot of effort, and I want to support that and keep bringing you to the world's deep dark night. Your podcast is definitely worth paying for, but I don't like subscriptions. How often have I ended up paying for a subscription and not using it? Too many times. And that was my biggest obstacle in subscribing. Another consideration I had to overcome was the belief that you were probably getting supported by some big grant and didn't need my contribution so much. Now I understand there is no such grant. That's it for the support of the show. It's mainly listener support. We don't get any grants. We don't have any funding. And our sponsors only support us based on listener support back. That's how we're able to be here for you is listeners like Jennings. So if you identify with what Jennings said, if Sleep With Me makes your life better, don't wait. Support the show. And I'm pretty proud of the work I put into the main show that comes out night after night after night. So please support the show. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, Jennings. I was just looking down the street here. I thought I saw Payless, but I didn't. Maybe I'll stand up. The wind is a little bit It's lulling here. Always worried, though, about bringing attention to myself, but I'm looking here. For those of you San Francisco residents, I can see the Royal Exchange, Huntington's and Schroeder's, Mickey D's, and I'm not sure, what is this, Front Street or Clay? At the corner, I can see down at Sacramento, that's the cross streets. And not much going on, a lot of walking, trees are bare. Even here in California, the trees go bare. But we have people walking here. And you can hear the jingle jangles of a dog being walked. And yeah, that's it. I'll be stay here from. Let's see, we got two restaurants with your traditional reddish, orangish, pinkish neon signs. They look good. The signs are glowing. They look warm and inviting, for a sign. I mean, it's a little chilly. I'd say I wouldn't mind putting my hand on that sign and seeing. You can hear, if you just tune into that background whirring, that is an electric bus. And I think San Francisco's had electric. They say, we've been doing electric since, I don't know when, 1960, 1950, 1970, 1980, I don't know. But the buses are running on electric and they're whirring. Creatures are stirring, possibly. Pigeon update. It might be the perch of the pigeons. Oh, a pigeon just took wing, flying. It looked pretty graceful, like middle heavy. I mean, maybe that's the criticism of the pigeons. Short wings, puffy middles. There's only two pigeons, though, at the perch because the sun's no longer hitting it. So the pigeons are just like me. They say, what'd you say? I don't know. Also, I'm looking in an office, not sure what company, but someone's birthday was this week because I see a green balloon. Though it's a star, so it could be a star employee. And let's relocate here and see what we can pick up next. All right, folks, here I am. I'm back. Another Skybridge. And this one's got a little more action, a little more traffic outside. I'm just one block down, corner of Clay. I believe this is Battery. Also, yeah, it is. Between Clay and Sacto on Battery. Trying to get some more. Trees are bare here as well. There's an apartment building. I'm right by the cinema. It's got some good neon going on the cinema side. I can see what I believe. I think it's the customs house. I know there's a official U.S. building down the street 2 blocks. I can never remember what it is. My brother used to work there. There's a Cafe Prague. Is around here somewhere. Haven't been back there, since stopped drinking Czech beer. But there's a nice. The sun's on a nice, not extremely tall building, and this actually reminds me of a restaurant I ate around here. I think it was the Rincon or something like that. There was a time we went to this restaurant and it had the most famous sommelier in the world, or most famous American sommelier, wine guy. His name was Larry, and he was, he'd won all the awards. The only U.S. person, that French people would only laugh at, when he wasn't there, only U.S. wine expert. And it was important to this person I was with to meet Larry Stone and to drink wine recommended by Larry Stone. And so we went to the restaurant he was working at, and I wasn't paying, so I was like, oh boy, I cannot wait. And we went there. And Larry Stone, I remember he had multiple things around his neck and was wearing multiple things. I don't know if you get a leaf when you get into these things. And I think he had different openers around his neck. And he was definitely, he was intense. I mean, he was a character. He was a real person, but he was also a character, which I think when you're a showman, you're not just selling, I mean, I guess there probably are introverted non-intense wine experts, but they're not wearing wine bling. And so I remember, the gentleman I was with, he was into wine, and he had a great back and forth with Larry. And Larry kind of figured out what we were eating and made some recommendations, and it really was entertaining. And I could, if I had the time, or if I had a podcast back then, I probably would have I could do an entire episode about Larry. But I'm far enough removed that I don't remember specific quirks. But I mean, it does. In situations like this, or in situations like that, I always try to remember, what's it like when Larry goes home at night? What's the rest of his life like? And then I guess also fair enough questions are like, how much, how often does he change restaurants? What is the structure? Maybe he was a partner in that restaurant, because then how do you get paid when you're a sommelier? Do you get commission on the wine bottles you sell? Then is that an ethical, moral thing? Do you get a salary? Do you get an hourly? Do you need side gigs? Does he do side gigs for extra money to pay for healthcare and retirement? Or how many years? How many years is the living good for a sommelier? Is sommelier? I always want to say sommelier, but sommelier, I think sommelier is a proper term. And I don't know if it's very. For me, standing here doing this podcast, as traffic travels underneath, it travels at a calming rhythm, because it's a weekend, and because of the time of day, it's very calming, the motion of the traffic right now, very soothing. I don't know if you can hear it, if you can feel it, and I'm not doing this as it is. I just see someone in a Burberry scarf blanket. I believe. I think that's what that pattern is. Never, I guess it makes sense that you could own a pattern. You'd say, well, just what is it? A couple tan stripes, a couple black stripes, and a red stripe. Is that the Burberry? And you say, well, just that's trademarked. But I mean, I don't think you could trademark a lulling, soothing podcast. But I don't know if you can or not. And then you think about soda. I had this soda today at lunch. Oh boy, I wish I knew the name of this soda. I think we're living in the next great era of soda, like a boutique, bespoke, handcrafted soda. I had a soda, and I think this is this new thing where there's small soda companies. It costs the same as regular soda. It was at a quick service burger place, but I think it was called. I don't want to say the name of it, but it was good. It was a good burger too. I was hungry, and I needed lunch. I think it was $11 for a burger, fries, and a soda at a nice burger place, not a fast food place, but served fast. A little bit like Chipotle. But they had this handcrafted soda, and they had a cola. In this cola, I mean, I only had one. It was so good, I sipped it. Plus, I didn't want to have to go pee too many times during Hal and Mark's show. And I don't even know what the other flavors were, but it was good. So I'm still here in the same spot, but I'm thinking maybe this will be a Skybridge tour. There's a horn. Hopefully, it's not a wakey horn. And it wasn't. It just said, hey, I'm turning here, or hey, whatever. It was probably the nicest horn I've ever heard. I heard one just like that earlier. But maybe today will be a Skybridge tour. We have one Skybridge down, now 2 Skybridges. I'm saying let's get 10 minutes on every Skybridge. Can we do an entire Skybridge episode? And what would be, bridges between buildings. 1980, bridges between buildings. But yeah, when did Skybridges fall out of favor? I mean, they're not told. I mean, I'm sitting up here, just as I said, I'm watching 1, 2, 3. I just saw a U-Haul with a motorcycle in the back, 2 Ubers in a row. And haven't seen any of the pink mustache cars, but it doesn't mean they're not around. I am outside, not that far from a hotel one of my friends stayed at when he was working in town not that long ago. Seeing an orangish car, a lot of gray cars. Is it the number 1 color car in America? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 white cars and about 17 gray cars. There's a beige car, but I'd call it gray. Silver gray car. I'd count silver, by the way, as gray. Then a blue car. Black Volvo mid-size SUV. Then a black Beamer here. Turning the corner, smooth. The podcast that describes slow-moving traffic. Dark gray, silver, silver green, blue gray, black, white, silver, black, silver gray, old gray, silver. What's the one? Audi. That's the one with the circles, right? Black Audi. Packages in the passenger seat. Mid-size SUV. I don't see a lot of full-size SUVs. Let's see what I see in the distance. Another mid-size SUV. A lot of cars. Caravan, or whatever they're called. What are those things called that you put a family in? What are they called? I can't think. Family minivan, Uber minivan, freezer truck, cargo van. In the distance, I see a full-size SUV, but gas prices here are high. And then anyway, let's see what we got. Tell us the colors. It's two gray and a grayish gray, black, another Audi gray, silver gray, black, white, black, and a white older car, just barely going. Here comes you can hear the chatter and the pitter-patter of a frozen foods truck right under. It's live here at Sleep With Me podcast, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We just witnessed a refrigerated truck pass directly under where this podcast is being recorded today, this moment, right here. Bus going by with an advertisement for a marathon. A big bus with some tourists on it, 30% filled on the top. And brake sounds, you hear those, and now traffic's a little bit slower. I guess traffic must move. Does traffic move in its own rhythm? I don't think it does. Or maybe it does, What are good traffic songs? Not to earworm anybody. There goes a nice-looking Honda. I don't know what that was. And then a Honda mid-size SUV in silver VW, a cab, that's rare. Silver Audi. A lot of these Audi's popular, or no, what is that? What is the circle one again? That is Audi, I believe. Land Rover, there's an SUV for you. Wow. And that is the sound of the man looking at the traffic. Okay, so we'll be back here in a minute. Okay, I'm here on Skybridge number 3. Now, Skybridge has got a little motion to it. I don't know what that's about, my heels have some motion to it. But now I'm on Skybridge number 3. I can see something that looks like a potential Skybridge number 4. I'm over Front Street, and I can see a sign for Davis. Between Embarcadero Center and the Punchline Comedy Club. This was what gave me the idea of this Skybridge here. I said, wow, this one's got a nice view. I can see the SCO from the San Francisco on the ferry building, the backside of SCO. I can see one of the pylons of the Bay Bridge. I can see some steady motion of traffic on the Bay Bridge going in two directions. The sky is cloudless. Well, no, that's not true. I just saw a wispy cloud up and to my right. But, looking straight ahead. Again, I don't know. I guess I'm looking due east, because to my back, if I went backwards for a while, I think I'd hit the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I guess I'm facing east. The Bay Bridge is to my east. Electric bus just passing by. The California one had a nice hum to it. I don't know. I don't know if I could put out a ambient bus sounds, but probably I could. And you're wondering, I know what you're really asking yourself if you're lying there. Scoots, what color? This. I don't want to sound totally out there, but the cars on this street are different colors. There's I just saw a red car. That might be my first red car of the day. And now I see, well, I guess maybe not. Now I see 2 black cars, a silver and a gray. Well, no, there's like a turquoisey Ford car. There goes a white car. There's another silver. Oh, another red. More of a maroon. You're right, Brain. That was more of a... Oh, and then a convertible mini red, cherry red. I think one time, maybe I told this story in the podcast before, maybe not. My family always had station wagons. And we would drive, my family would drive it till it was like towards the end of its usable life. And at one point, I think we had a silver green, no, maybe it was still, like we had 2 ones with the wooden sides, like you'd see, or like, historians will see when they uncover what it was like to be a child in the 80s. But growing up, we had 3 station wagons that I can think of right now. 2 of which I think were like Oldsmobile family. I think that's where my grandfather worked at an Oldsmobile dealership. But they both had the fake wooden sides, and both were blue. One was a sky blue turquoise color, and the other one was a navy color. And then we had a light silver green color one. And I think at one point, whatever the second station wagon we had was getting retired close to when I was turning 16. And my dad took me aside one day, and he looked at the car. And my dad's a bit like me, out there with, and he said, and he did use these, I'm pretty sure he used the word boss, which in those days, my dad didn't use terms like that. To characters on TV maybe use them. But he said, what would look really boss with this station wagon if you get it painted cherry red and, really wax it up. And, it was the first time I think in my life I realized how, I'm not the only delusional one in this family. I think I don't do a lot of things for irony's sake, but I think your best bet if you're going to get a station wagon and turn it red, it's either straight, hey, look at me. Well, no, I guess there's another possibility, which is more my dad. I love cherry red things, and I love station wagons. And station wagons did have powerful engines. Usually they'd have a V8, so they would be they'd have some great pickup, especially with no kids in the car. And my dad said, let's get this thing done in cherry red, which we didn't happen, of course. But I'm still watching the traffic going by. Nothing out of the ordinary. Silver and black cars with an occasional white car. If we count silver and gray as one thing, which of course, there is a difference, but in this thing, I would count maroon and red as the same. Well, one of the new Priuses with that interesting back to it, with it's kind of like a curved brake light. So there's a silver BMW right next to. These are both mid-size SUVs. I had no idea. I'd say the RAV4. I don't I don't sell cars. That's a small SUV, which I'd say that's probably all you need. Or what is it, CRV or the RAV4? These ones are a little bit bigger. That's what makes it a mid-size. And then I think you have a full-size SUV and then monster size. Okay, so I'm turning around because now I'm facing what I believe is west, and the sun's not heading west. We got a very beautiful view of the Transamerica Tower. One of the things that brought me to San Francisco when I was a kid, they must have been building this thing or something, and it was in my history book, along with a picture of Alcatraz, and I said, that's where I want to live. Well, I want to live where Alcatraz is. Now as an adult, I really am like, Alcatraz, eh? But I can feel it, like deep within my gut, this yearning to be a part of Alcatraz as a child. It had such a mystique to me. And for some reason, this Transamerica Pyramid, you're right, Brain, has this similar association. I lived in New York, and New York's got its share of really excellent buildings. And I don't know how, like, I guess, like, you know, I love that building. I'd say, well, you know, for San Francisco, it's very different. You know, in a city with a lot of skyscrapers, it might be forgettable. But to me, I love it. And then I'm looking uphill. So I don't know what street we're on exactly, but one of the east-west San Francisco streets. And I can see the hill. It's blocked by the trees a little bit. And at the top of the hill, I believe that's the Mark Hopkins Hotel. It has a radio tower, which I've never noticed till this day. A very tall radio tower on the roof of it. It may not be the Mark Hopkins, but I think it is. Just so that would make the street that goes up to the Mark Hopkins Hotel, I think, which is across the street from the Fairmount Hotel. And down here on the street side is a bike sharing thing. I don't know the name of it, but that's cool. And there's bikes that are out and there's bikes that are available. Punchline Comedy Club, top comedy club here in San Francisco, right to my side. And traffic's moving. Saturn SUV, I'd say that's almost a higher size. I mean, they don't make those anymore, but that looked like it was closer to a full size. And yeah, we're here on Skybridge number 3. I'm presuming my brother was going to meet me to be my crew. And my phone has buzzed, but I said to myself, Scoots, let's get 10 minutes at like a minimum of 10 minutes audio at each Skybridge. And then we'll assess it. Bright red Fiat, beyond cherry red, just passed under me. Wow, that had an impact for some reason. I don't know if that car was just cleaned, but bravo. I don't know if we have enough Skybridge. They said, we need about 70 or 80 minutes of audio to be safe, to get 50 minutes of podcast episode here. But yeah, I'm looking here. Old school Ford pickup truck going underneath, rusty roof and everything. Wow. History being made, and history just drove right by me. And frozen stuff. Earlier refrigerated stuff. So, I guess this is like living a dream. Bus is going underneath me. My phone is buzzing in my pocket. But I say, Scoots, let's get the audio. Let's get it clean. This is a podcast that puts people to sleep. The sun just struck a flag. Not sure what nation's flag it is. It is red and blue. It's about 10 blocks away. But the sun's shining on it. It's flowing. And looks like it has red, blue, maybe a white star or shape on it. And that's all I can see. It's flowing in the breeze as a bus glides under us, sets us at ease with its humming. Another person skates by on a scooter. And, I'm Scooter. I'm here, and I'm going to head. I can see our next Skybridge, and we're doing pretty good. No security guards. We've done 3 Skybridges without, even at the Dickens Fair where I had permission, I had about 12 run-ins with security guards, and me and authority figures. So, and also in front of, I'm still by Embarcadero 1, there's a nice silver sculpture. Looks a bit like a whistle that I'm seeing. But yeah, I'm going to move on to another Skybridge, and I'll be back soon. Okay, so we're in the middle of a little detour here. Now, I guess I just thought of the next live episode I could do would be, there's rooftop gardens that are supposed to, I guess when you build a building in San Francisco, you have to do green space, and there's like all these rooftop gardens. I think there's a lot of good blogs dedicated to them. And that's something I've always said I wanted to do, and I've been, just for fun, not even for, what is this called, a podcast. But here I am, I'm outside the Punchline. I didn't realize there's these mini sculptures. There's this very geometric sculpture I'm standing in front of. I'm presuming it's copper or whatever pennies are made of, because it's got that rusty Lady Liberty look to it, patina. I've been waiting to use that, and this is it. It's got a patina of green. And let me get a couple steps closer. I'm within. It's a lot of triangles. Holy Isosceles Institute. It's got a lot of triangles. It almost looks like a bit of a triangular vortex. I'm close to the patina now, and I'm a little bit away from the Embarcadero, so I have a view of a couple more modern buildings. They look nice. I always wonder, I guess this is another reason I don't work in office-related businesses, or the times I've always been, I haven't had it, because if I had a view from some of these offices, even if I didn't have a sleep podcast, I'd probably stay up there and, just look and things like that. And yeah, and then I'm looking, wow, there's a lot of lights on in the Embarcadero Center. I don't know if people are working, but it looks like probably they are. It's Saturday, 4 p.m. Yeah, can't see anything. I see some files stacked up. So somebody's been stacking some files close to the window. I mean, holy waste of. If somebody really. I could be looking out that window. I'll lease your window space from you for 0.0. I don't know if you can hear that. There's like one bird tweeting. That's nice. A lone bird. Yeah, and there's also this. I guess this is another building. Doesn't get many props. It has like the exterior steel girders right in front of the punchline. Which I guess is a look that obstructs your window views. I don't know what years this was popular. It's a look, and it's a look I like. Exoskeleton, I guess that's exactly, you're right. It's an exoskeleton building. But we're on a sculpture build. We're on a sidetrack. Wait a second, I think I just saw an unexplored Skybridge, because there's another little sculpture garden. I mean, one sculpture. Sculpture garden means more than one sculpture, but when you go look at a sculpture's garden, why don't they call it that? A garden of sculptures. This is a sculpture garden with one sculpture. I'm going to go to that, but I just saw another Skybridge. So I'm going to walk, and I'll be back soon. So I'm at the entrance of this second sculpture here, and I just realized this is these like two little sculpture gardens are perfect for people with pets that have pet bags. And where else? There's not a massive amount of apartment buildings around here, but there are two that right within my view. So it's like, you get a dog or your cats. I guess your cat has a litter. Your dog or your, other... you gotta go to the bathroom, but there's a sculpture here, Golden Gateway Center collection of fine art, and it's a standing figure, knife-edged, by Henry Moore, dedicated to the city of San Francisco by Golden Gate Building Company, 1967. So I don't know if that's how old this exoskeleton building is, or just this smaller building that contains the punchline and looks like another company. But yeah, it's a nice figure, knife-edged sculpture, standing, and I really like it. It almost looks like it's holding its arms up to the exoskeleton building, facing east. Though you could say it's facing west. You say, well, front side, back side. And I have a little bit different view of the Transamerica Pyramid now. Kind of standing alone, jutting up, some trees in front of it, some wispy clouds behind it. Looks good. It looks nice. Very peaceful here. A couple birds chasing one another. Finches. We ever figure out? Oh, I see a robin. I believe that's a robin. Oh, that is a robin. I say, Robin, hello. How you doing? And you can probably hear them tweeting. And then I see, wow, just looking at the bush. So there's a brick building in front of me, small, squat, but it's got what seems to be vines covering it, and then a bush with some flowers that are blooming. I'm not sure if they're morning glories. They're pinkish. One of the robins is staring right at me. I'm not kidding. It just bowed its head to try to hear me. But, and here comes another. Wow, this could be the podcast that's been taken over by robins. I have two of them. I mean, the robin's looking at me just like Koa does. Like, you're going to take me for a walk? Do I have birdseed for you? No. What about some suet? Is that what you people eat? Suet? I mean all birds. Yeah, I'm making a podcast that puts people to sleep. I don't know if do birds have trouble sleeping? You're tapping the ground. Does that mean anything? Are you a robin? Tap once for yes. Ignore me. Moving like Koa. Saying, well, I'll move over here. I'm going to look at you again. Then I'm going to move and look at you again. Standing up straight. This robin has excellent posture on this robin. Excellent posture. I don't know if this segment will be usable. I can't tell with the wind we have here. But this robin has excellent posture. And you do. You do. Ooh, did you? Oh, boy. I've seen nature. I think the robin threw a piece of, what do you call that bark that you, like it threw something thinking it was a worm, like a leaf. It said, oh, wait, I got another. Okay. I think Hitchcock's from around here. You better get him on the phone because I got another robin watching me talking to the other robin. Okay, here I am. I'm on Skybridge number 4, and I did about 6 minutes of material that wasn't recorded. You didn't miss anything except for a robin going by and saying, tweeting, or, chirping at me. But I'm on this Skybridge is a little bit more homey of a Skybridge. The other ones had a very corporate feel. This one, what do you call this? The guardrail looks a little bit more, I don't know, I think maybe it's the property of these apartment buildings that are nearby. Because it's more cash. This is the most cash size Skybridge I've been on all day. And I'm looking west or east still mixing that up. Even on the last segment that didn't get recorded, I said that. But I can see what I believe is Emeryville. Can still see the Bay Bridge. I see 2 buses on the Bay Bridge right now. I can see another Skybridge. If we get there, we get there. One Skybridge at a time, It's all we can ask for. In silver, 2 mid-size SUVs in silver gray just drove underneath. But yeah, I can see the hills behind Emeryville of Oakland and Berkeley are still aglow in sunlight, bathed, as is the bridge, and the speckles of the buildings reflecting the sun. I see a yoga ball in an office window. People still out walking. Blue car. I can see a blue car. That's, better than not a blue car. And, you can hear the chatter of late Saturday afternoon chatter. And some more cars coming. Peaceful here. Restful. This is, I guess I don't want to be controversial, but this isn't exactly my favorite part of the day. I guess because this would be the time, I think this is the time of day that's just meant for naps, and we don't really, especially in the winter, but maybe then you'd say, well, it's a little too late for a nap. Saturday, it's probably 4 now, and then you say, well, and then you got to make dinner plans. This is when I actually like to record a podcast, rarely do, but get it done before dinner. In this hour, and probably tied to when I couldn't sleep. It's just like this late Saturday reminded me that Sunday was coming. But now, if we take this, we're on Skybridge number 4. I can see our next Skybridge, but I'm going to take one Skybridge at a time. Take them as they come. The silver cars, they're too many to take as they come. They just keep coming and coming. And believe it or not, people are walking their dogs now. Just as I said, that dog park is just perfect for walking dogs. That jingle jangle was a couple of pups, out saying, hey, we need some relief. But yeah, I got a view here, and it's a nice view. You talk about views that are made for a silly podcast. Looking down a street on a Saturday, watching silver and gray cars go. Somebody just looked up at me from their car. It was a passenger. And he looked up, he said, "What is that guy doing up there?" I mean, that's what his eyes said. He was sitting on his hands, so he could have just been trying to warm his hands while he was looking up. But, I don't know that for a fact. But of course, my ego says, he was like, "What is that guy doing? Is he counting the silver and gray cars and the mid-size SUV?" No, too many to count. I think 4 just went under me. And then a black VW, now black Lexus. And here comes another car. Color, that's a tough one. I don't know if that was the dark navy or black. And now silver gray Volkswagen. Those are a white Toyota and a maroon. I don't know that car company. I mean, a Hyundai. I believe that was a Hyundai, yeah. Does a Hyundai's H not look much like an H? Then it was a Hyundai. I think my parents drive a Hyundai or a Kia. Which one, I don't know. And I'm going to head out. I'm going to head out to the next Skybridge. But I'm going to take it one step at a time. If I get there, you'll hear from me soon. But yeah, I'm slowly approaching this sculpture, slowly walking to see. It is a bronze horse, so I was right. It doesn't say anything about, anybody. Bronze horse by Marino Marini, dedicated to the city of San Francisco, Golden Gateway Building Company, 1967. Another nice one. Very, I don't know if it's been very flat head on this horse. I don't know if that was a decision or a result. The horse has no ears, but maybe its ears have been, taken by jokers, would be my guess. Okay, so if I'm right now I'm standing, this is a bronze horse, but it's sniffing my ear. Oh, that's so nice. That's nice. I mean, the horse's nostrils are in my ear here on Sleep With Me, and it's nice, and it's a nice horse, bronze. I guess that other sculpture was are all the sculptures here bronze? That's a great question. That would be good for a tour guide, not me. Oh, he signed it on one of the horses. It's a rump, right? That's like what you call or flank, the side. This is like the muscle that a human would work out in squats. It says Marino, Marino, M-A-R-I-N-O. And the horse has a short tail. Again, I don't know if the tail was a victim or it just this artist preferred a short-tailed, earless horse. I went through the desert on a horse with no tail, and the bugs were awful. Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And yeah, we got a great sound of the sculpture. Really good view of what is this, Embarcadero 2. Wow, actually, there's a reflection of the buildings behind me a little bit. I don't see any humans, but I see, again, I don't want to call any people up, but there are files stacked in some of the windows again. And that's not something, by the way, also, before I go on a complaining tirade, the fountain uses recycled water here, so it's not using fresh water. But they still stack their boxes in front of windows. But yeah, a decent amount of lights on, not every floor, but I don't see anybody. But not really, I guess there's a lot of desks up against the window, so it'd be hard for me to see somebody if they're sitting at their desk. They'd be, just the angle is not good. But yeah, the building looks good. The building's in shadow, but the buildings behind me are a little bit in the sun. My arm is getting tired for some reason from holding this mic. And I'm going to slowly walk. This will be a little experiment, a little more walking here. I like to stand still when I'm recording the podcast because I'm heading over these flower planters here. Wow. And I don't know, I assume they're real. They're almost look like they're from another planet. Shining, gleaming, look like they're slimy berries. And then there's an ivy type plant with these flowers that are just they're violets with red, and they look a little bit like an orchid. but only from someone that doesn't really know what, I know what an orchid looks like. I don't think these are maybe they are. Is there any kind of ivy-based orchid? I can't take a picture because I have a recorder in one hand and a mic in the other, and I want to keep my equipment quiet, but I'm still walking, and I'm walking a slow pace to Skybridge. Is this going to be Skybridge number 5? And this will be another one of our non-corporate Skybridges if we get there. I'm moving at a sloth's pace. Sleep with me. I mean, this is the exact pace the podcast should be that I'm walking. I don't know if you can feel it, but I can feel it. I'm moving slow. I mean, maybe I could keep this pace to say, okay, Scoots, talk right at this pace. Like when I'm in the climate closet, and say, slow down, and talk a little slower. You're going at the pace. Speak at the pace. If you were walking, your bag wouldn't make any noise, and cords wouldn't knock. My neck is getting knocked, though. We got good quality bird noise, and I'm crossing our threshold to the next bridge. Now, the wind is picking up, so I don't know what our sound is going to be like out here. Now I'm crossing the threshold of Skybridge number 5, I believe, and this is one of our more cash Skybridges on our Skybridge tour today. The wind's a little more intense, so I got to be a little bit more careful, and hopefully we'll get usable sound here as I step out on this sky. I think I just spotted yet another mystery Skybridge. The Skybridge Discovery Tour. That is what this would be called. I mean, the only tour where you get your money back as soon as you sign up for it. But yeah, I have the same east-west view. I definitely can only face east because the wind is at my back, and it's a decent wind. I see 2 red cars. One is an mid-size SUV behind a mid-size SUV in front of a full-size SUV, and so that's something we haven't seen today. And then an American mid-size SUV in red. Then a full-size, that's a super-size. What is that, a Range Rover? Land Rover. That's a big one. Whoa, and then a dark maroon Mercedes full-size SUV. A lot of SUVs in this time of day. And I really have seen another Skybridge. So this is the Skybridge Discovery Tour. It's only available in audio form because it's to put you to sleep. So maybe I'll only catch a few minutes on this Skybridge, especially with the wind. But this is the first time I've seen the top of the San Francisco Ferry Building. You can see the bell tower. And actually, from this angle, I really haven't had a chance to look at it like this before and paused to see that it's a tower that has 2 square. It's a square clock tower. But then on top of the square clock tower, it gets smaller, I'm not good, like a cake, each layer. And then there's another square box part of the tower, and then two levels of ovular tower. Then a small dome topped off by a flat. I mean, that is the kind of place, if dreams really do come true, one day I'll be doing a podcast from the top of that. Or if you work at Cal Berkeley, I'd love to do one from your clock tower. Maybe even the top of these buildings. I'd like to get the... So yeah, if you own a tower, especially if you personally own a tower, holy mackerel, give me an invite. Red car. So red car is like our third, other than silver, which we count as gray, black and white cars. I think red, variations on red. That's another good one. That could be a book. Variations on red. And I'm looking up this street. Oh, this is the same street I was looking up before, but now that's weird. I don't see the Mark Hopkins Hotel. So maybe, okay, I guess wow, one full block and the tower halved in size. Is anybody good with math? Is that possible? I think it is. Wow, there's another one. The power of perspective. What do we call it? The hidden Skybridge Discovery Tour, the power of perspective. And I'm going to move on here. I'm going to be very cautious because, again, I don't know what our wind issues are. And I'm heading through, this is Whale Ship Plaza, they call it. And people are out. Now we're heading into the dinner hour. So people are out, but I picked up my pace there, so I had to pause because my bag started making noise. I got a little excited here to be in Whale Ship Plaza. Again, this got a little bit of a 70s feel to it. A lot of cement and brick and some planters. I guess there's a couple issues with these these forced plazas. Definitely I'm no Roman Mars, but I say if they're not getting hit by sunlight for a certain number of hours a day, I think that's one thing that creates an issue, because you say, especially in the Bay Area, you say, well, I need some sunlight because that makes it better. Sunlight makes it better. Skybridge Discovery Tour. But I can't believe, really, I started this today out, and I said, a couple days ago, I said, if I'm going to go to this show, I'd like to record an episode after at some point, if I'm going to be in San Francisco. And then I said, maybe I'll do a walk along the Embarcadero. And then, you heard it at the beginning. I said, I wonder if I could start recording on the Skybridge without getting in trouble with security. And since then, I've set forth on a walk and discovered Skybridge after Skybridge. I knew maybe 3 of them existed. But, this is the Skybridge Center of San Francisco, that I've discovered. But I got to tell you, I really shouldn't be playing favorites since I've just started on this Skybridge tour. But this one might be my favorite. It looks like it has a little bit of an arch to it over the road. It has the same cash feel as the non-corporate Skybridges, but its handrails have been painted within the last 20 years. And then it has 4 lights, the globe lights that you would see around college campuses or buildings that were built in the 70s and 80s. But they look good. They fit the style. And I'm getting close. I'm about to cross. I just crossed the threshold. And you can hear the traffic. That was a full-size SUV in black. And I'm stepping out here, and I have a view of a ground-level plaza park. Not sure what it's called in San Francisco. We're at Davis and Front Street and one of the east-west streets. I'm not sure which one. And there's a park here that I've probably driven by, or probably circled trying to park. There's a couple people enjoying it, even though they just have holy mackerel live bell sounds. Wow, we are lucky. Oh, I'm having a somatic response to those. They feel good. One. I can't hear him. And I'm talking over him. Yeah, I guess that's the thing with the sleep podcast. I can't pause too long. The silences wake people up if I start talking in after, because then they say, I thought and now I'm seeing talk about this. This Skybridge Discovery Tour, it may not, I may have 1 or 2 paying customers because I can see another yet undiscovered Skybridge. You could, if you hated walking at street level here in this part of San Francisco, you could walk 3 blocks without ever saying, I don't want, I don't like being on street level. I just prefer, I consider myself above, crust above, and I prefer to walk above. I prefer Michael Jordan was my hero, and I like to sky. Even though he was Air Jordan, I consider myself the sky stroller. And when I stroll above the masses. I stroll on sky bridges. So yeah, here I am I don't even know I mean, again, I've had trouble joking about breaking Guinness records, but what is the Guinness Book of World Records podcast is recorded on consecutive Skybridges? It's 0, probably, and today it's skyrocketed to 6 and possibly more. And I mean, this is, again, who knew as a little boy, my dream come true would be to make sleep podcasts. But I mean, you could be witnessing the transformation of sleep with me, and you say, well, he did do that sleep podcast for a while, but then he became, Skybridge walking tour magnate he is today. And that's when Skybridges came back into vogue. Because people that consider themselves Vogue level, stopped wanting to walk. You're going to say they get caught on in a way, unfortunately, that altered the face of the globe. But we don't have to talk about that today. It's one Skybridge historical moment at a time here. So, yes, Skybridge number 6. Oh, yeah, you're right. I should look west. Right now we don't have... our wind is pretty good here. No, it's not. Okay, the wind just... But yeah, I'm looking up this street, and I'm not sure which street it is, but these are east-west streets of San Francisco. Wind is picking up, so I'm going to have to move on. But, a lot to look at. I mean, literally, I could probably do it from one location, the whole thing, but there's Skybridges to be walked, and that's why I'm here to take you, to discover. They're awaiting discovery. And I'm still walking slow. Maybe I'll just try to keep walking slow. My brother's here with me now. I think he's on the phone, or he's looking at a tree. He's wiping his nose. He doesn't know I'm observing him, or maybe he does, so I won't observe him any longer. And I know there's still Skybridges to be found. And now I'm at a turning point. I say, do I head left, or do I go to the known or the unknown? You're right, Scoots. Let's head to the unknown, where Skybridges await. Okay, and you asked for it and you wanted it. The road in the sky less taken. I listened to you and your collective gut and my gut, and have already stumbled upon another Skybridge, and I've lost count. I know we're in the S's, so I don't know if we're in 6 or 7. We could be at 8, but I'm just steps away from yet another Skybridge. This one with more modern lighting, but the railing needs to be painted. Second coffee place that starts with an S, within a few blocks. Oh, and this is like a pedestrian boulevard. Closed off to traffic except parking. It has a sculpture there at the end of the street, and it's just a good cooking smell in the air too. Oh, Safeway. It does smell like Safeway's frying something. I can see some more Skybridges in the distance, because you can't walk every Skybridge. I mean, I think that's what we're learning on this Skybridge Discovery Tour. I mean, you can try. Holy cow. I'm not kidding. I could see, I think it's Pier 39, blocks and blocks away. And between me and Pier 39, blocks away is another sky. This really is, I had no idea. I'm really lucky to make this podcast sometimes. And one day, I'll have grandchildren or something, or, be in a home. And be like, well, tell us about the glory days you had. Oh, I remember a day when I went walking and found some Skybridges. Okay, folks, my Skybridge tour was, we finally did have an encounter with security at a distance. But I guess I wanted to be argumentative. But the spirit of the Skybridge told me, they said, just move along. I said, isn't this a public park? But I think it's, I guess, I don't know. So all these Skybridges, the birds are saying, hey, bridge among bridges are meant to be skied. I think I was making up. Before I was interrupted, I was saying, one day I'll be at a home. I'll be like, I remember the day I was walking Skybridge after Skybridge. And I'm back at the plaza with the fountain. You'll hear the fountain. I want to check out this next sculpture and see what it is made of and say, is that a metal sculpture? It's one of four. What was it made of? They weren't made of iron, but it was made of copper, or I wanted to say I thought they were going to be copper, and I already forgot. This one's more silver, though. I can see it, but now the wind's picking up too. But you can hear the fountain as I walk along, approaching the fountain, getting closer, slower, walking. I can see the sign on the sculpture. And what does it say? Now, maybe this is a newer one. If not, maybe it's stainless steel, or maybe it just looks good at a distance. It's almost looks like a modern model of a building. It is Limits of Horizon 2 by Jan Peter Stern, 1968. But it looks pretty good. And Limits of Horizons 2. It's got some wavy, I don't know, it looks almost like the exterior of a modern museum. And I stand here, I look at another Skybridge, and it says to me, hey, come on out and give me a walk. Okay, so I'm at the cusp of what may be our last Skybridge. It's a corporate one, and the day is waning and the wind is increasing. And you can't walk every Skybridge, it turns out. Some are on private property, and some are just too windy to record. But now you can see half of San Francisco's sign on the ferry building. I'm over Clay Street, and I see mid-size SUVs, one blue, light blue, and one black, and then one silver gray, and then one black with a chair on its roof. Looks like a chair was just purchased on Craigslist. And the sun is going down. The birds are still chirping. I'm not sure if you can hear them deep in the distance, but the birds are still chirping here at Clay and Davis Street or nearby it. People are walking, and water's flowing. And, ideally the rest of you are resting as I carry you off. And I say to myself, wonder, how many minutes did I get? Because I've been recording in little segments to try to make sure everything got recorded. And, I say, I could fill up some more time. I can look at the cars gently gliding by. When you're up here in the sky, the cars drive gently by. And, I don't need Dr. Seuss to tell me that. I can just observe it. I just saw the car with the chair on its roof go left, and then a full-size SUV go right in silver. I see a bus. Its warning hazards are on. I think it's probably reconnecting to the grid. And really some good bird action right where I'm standing. Really good bird action. And people walking. A good day for a warm beverage today, right at this particular moment. I mean, this is a perfect day for a warm beverage. Now, warm beverages are not included on the Skybridge. What do we call it? The Skybridge? I thought it had an S in it. Skybridge Sighting Tour? Skybridge Sea Sighting Tour? Skybridge Discovery Tour? Is that what I called it? I thought it had an S in whatever the title was. But now another security guard's approaching, so I'm going to have to go. So good night and sleep tight. And don't let the bed bugs... Oh, no, just walking by. Doing a quick walk by. They walked right by. I said, I wonder what that guy's up to. And I said, well, I got to move. I call it the 23 Skidoo. Because I said, well, this would be tough to get my approval for the Skybridge. Which, when you're on a Skybridge, you're only in the property of the sky. By the way, here on the Skybridge tour, where I'm trying to eat up about 3 or 4 more minutes. But oh man, now the wind is picking up and the birds are chirping. A lot of birds flying about 2.5 blocks away. There's some tall trees and another open space. And I haven't seen my brother in a while, but I'm sure he's sketching something somewhere or planning. He showed me a new panda planner. I said, wow, that is it's a lot of, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, and if you're still awake, don't think about panda planners, but maybe look into it tomorrow. I know I will. Oh, maroon. What do we decide those are called? Family vans. And then a mid-size SUV, then another family van. I forgot what they were called. But yeah, I'm here. I'm in the sky. And it's time to say goodbye. Good night. Sleep tight. Everybody, this is Scoots with a Talk You In message from someone who supports the show. And here's what it comes down to. If you're listening to me right now, do you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis? If the answer is no, don't worry about anything I'm going to say after this. Can you afford to support the show back at like $10, 27, 10, $20 a month? If it's no... Or if you don't have something like a subscription, you say, do I even use that? And that costs like $10 a month. I could be giving that to Sleep With Me. That makes my life better. But that's all it comes down to. Like, do you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis? Do you listen all night? If you listen all night, it can't be more critical that I get your attention. But yeah, if you listen to 2, 3, 4 episodes a week, like 10 episodes a month, the podcast actually makes your life better, and you count on the podcast. I got to tell you, we count on you to support the show back if you count on the podcast. People that just like listen casually, they don't count on the podcast like you do. And those are the people we need to support. We need to support the show back. We count on them. We count on listeners like you. So I'm going to read something from somebody that counts on the podcast and that supports the show back. And this comes from Steph and Corey, who said, I've dealt with trouble falling asleep and staying asleep for my whole life. I've tried a lot of the traditional things that are supposed to help, but nothing worked for very long. I found Sleep With Me at 1 a.m. when I was desperately searching for something new, and it clicked. I started supporting the show a week later, and I supported the show ever since, and it's still putting me to sleep. And the biggest obstacle to me signing up was I was a little worried, like everything else, that the show wouldn't work for me. There was the ad-supported version that worked just fine. It felt a little weird to pay for something you don't really listen to. But then I realized that's the point. If I'm not really listening, then it's doing its job, which is worth paying for. Holy cow. That's a great answer. I never even thought about that as an obstacle. So it's another thing I'm learning. Why would I pay for something that I benefit from but I don't listen to? So thank you so much, Steph and Corey. If you identify, sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Can't do without you, but I don't want to do it. Like, if I couldn't bore you to sleep, especially those of you that need the show the most, wouldn't that's what makes the work magical for this podcast. So thanks.